All right, good morning, everybody. Let's get started here. This is the Bookmap All Markets webinar. All right, good morning, everybody. And we're going to go through live order flow analysis, forward-looking, not hindsight, and look for opportunities in the market. It is not a trading room, though. It is an order flow reading room. By understanding the order flow, we can understand where it is more likely price will go next due to the behavior of orders in the market. This is how participants interact with the market. They do it through their orders, and that's that. So if we can read that, then we can start to understand where price might go, and what's the sentiment in the market. And we would also take positions in demo positions in here only to demonstrate entry, exit, and trade management, which is a key element, one of the most important elements in trading. All right, general disclosure. All Bookmap Limited materials, information, and presentations are for educational purposes only and should not be considered specific investment advice nor recommendations. Risk disclosure: trading futures, equities, and digital currencies involves substantial risk of loss and is not suitable for all investors. Past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results. So, all right, good morning, everybody, over on YouTube, and Dieter and Alreza, and also over in Discord. We got Dan and Steven in there at the moment, and some others I think will come in, start piling in here soon. The onboarding webinar. For those of you who are new to Bookmap, we do this webinar every Tuesday at 2 p.m. to go through the basics, get you up and running, installing, running Bookmap, connecting it to data, and adding symbols. All right, so just so you know about that. And let's jump in. Let's take a look at these markets here. Looking at the ES, and we'll jump over to the TraderMap Pro version of the ES here, and take a look and see what's going on. This filters out the order flow, or I'm sorry, the heat map a little bit. There's an algo in here that has been really kind of plaguing us for several months now. Anyway, all right, read the order flow right now. Well, yeah, we're just about to break out, it looks like here. And let's see if we've got enough buying pressure to do this. It looks pretty good. I would look for it here. This guy's staying in the book, though, so you've got to get into and through this guy here. And then we can get back up into maybe 44 and 45 as well. And let's see if we can get a quick move here to really break through that and get a stop run to the upside as well. Let's turn on our stops and icebergs here. I don't have it on. Okay, so guys, I had some problems earlier connecting to my live account. So you can see it's down here as trading simulated in the lower right hand corner, which is fine. I won't be able to use and demo the multi-account product, but that's okay. We've done it many times in the past, and I can refer you to that and answer your questions about it. Just wanted to mention that you can still, though, the trading statistics and your trading journal will still work in here. Okay, so if you want to, if you're trading in sim and you want to track your performance for specific setups, etc., you can still use the trading journal here. All right, so stops and icebergs on chart. Let's show them, and we're good to go. Okay. All right, so yeah, we're getting our buyers here. So still going higher here. So almost up into 44, looking for it. And let's zoom out here. Unfortunately, I don't have a lot of data in the TraderMap Pro version here, but not looking for a whole lot in this move here. We can see the volume is starting to pick up, so we were looking for that breakout. It is breaking out, but we're starting to come up into high liquidity. There was here at 40 44, and there's also some here at 45. Fundamentally, fundamental releases are economic releases. Well, Trump is due to speak. It's tentative. We don't know when. And that's going to move the market most likely. We'll see some market gyrations due to that. The market has become more kind of a news or kind of geopolitical driven market at this point. We saw this before during the first Trump administration, and we've seen some of that also during the last month or so. We will, we might see something technical working out really, really great, and then all of a sudden, boom, be down here, 15, 20 points away very, very quickly, right? So we have to be aware of that environment. In fact, what do we have in the Bookmap Academy meeting yesterday at market close? It was really great. We had covered John 412's content. Great trader, and how is he addressing that? Because the risk that we take in these positions could get blown out immediately, because we're looking at the order flow and the technicals. Well, the order flow will be completely wiped out. Well, not completely, but it'll be heavily affected by some sort of geopolitical event, or something, speaker in the Fed, or whatever it might be, that comes out and can blow us out here. And then we'll have to kind of reevaluate the order flow again. It's kind of like a reset button. So how is he dealing with it? Well, he is trading now pre-market instead. So he's away from the news cycle. That's how he's dealing with it. Another way to deal with it is maybe you get your news feeds and get some sort of real-time news that's very, very fast, and you can play along with that game. We talked about it last night in the Academy meeting a little bit, because it was pretty interesting. Going this direction with the news, you can really very, very quickly make money or lose money. But it's something to consider in this environment, because markets shift and change in the environment. So how do we adjust to it is a real big question. I think I brought up last time that one of our Bookmap traders, it was Carmine Rosado, talked about how he had a really horrible month in January, in the beginning of the month, halfway through, and then he had to readjust his trading, and then he knocked it out of the park, and had some really big gains, and he had to overcome those losses though. And he talked about how it affected him psychologically. I thought it was fantastic. So if you guys can, if you want to find that, it might address some of the issues of how losses affect you and how to overcome them. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I can address that as well from my side, like how, what do I feel about it? And I think, everyone's got to deal with it in their own way. And I see Rob is in here now. How to deal with some of these things, these psychological traumatic events, in fact, that can kind of wipe us, or wipe away our confidence in our trading. How do we deal with that? And I think we have to find that answer ourselves. But you have to self-reflect off of it and try to understand what's going on. Actually, I really resonated with the Carmine video. Him talking about how he dealt with it is very much the same from my side or perspective. Is like, whoa, take a deep breath, step back, stop. What's going on, and just kind of reset. Go back to what worked for you. and why. Like for example, in these webinars, you guys have seen me take losses in here. And then it's like, okay, well, maybe I'm just going to kind of take a little bit of a break here and reevaluate. Then, you know, reflect off of it and then see what works. It's a great process to go through. Let me go through an example. You start to have some losses and you start to shake your confidence, but then go back to what works. Like, okay, wait a minute, what did I do? What I got a little cocky. I thought, well, I'm going to get in a certain area, and I don't have all of the pieces of the puzzle. So wait for all the pieces of the puzzle in your setup. Know your setup better. And if it doesn't present, then you don't take it. Okay, and only take it if you're very confident about it. It's something that's it's really important that you don't hurt your confidence, right? So in fact, we talked about it a little bit last night in the Bookmap Academy meeting as well. How we take a look at some of the trades that we take in the morning, and we look for high probability trades. It just might be a few points, a scalp or so. That's fine. We're just starting to kind of eke into the market, get a feel for what's going on, and build that confidence. Okay, not overconfidence. It's just confidence in your trading, that's a really good thing to do. Another thing to do is to just go back and we've talked about kind of back testing many times over, and go back and kind of back test for the day is a really good thing to do. Okay, so we've shown this example using Market Pulse many times of bringing up Market Pulse and then being able to go back and back test things. Or you can look at CVD, for example. Like right here is a good example. We see more buy volume in here, right? So we have a lot of things in here. This is some divergence in here. Well, it's not quite diversion. It's not diversion so much. We did make a higher high here in CVD, okay, compared to over here. However, if we look at the move here, this is a much higher high in price compared to the CVD. So then, we can start to look at the bigger picture, or in the setup. If you trade CVD, well, okay, so did we trade into high liquidity? Did these buyers absorb, or I'm sorry, did these sellers absorb those buyers? Yeah, they did. Well, the transactions took place. Okay, so now you're looking for a little bit of weakness in here, and is that your setup? And then you can even look at it here as like, okay, well, this is where the sellers came in, and look at the pullback to that area. All right, so we've got many different things to kind of consider in here, and this is what you will lean against and create your confidence from. Something like this, just to give you an example. Right? I hope that helps. We know that there was quite a few sellers in here, and we know there's lots of sellers up here as well. Okay, so let's see, Stephen, you say January is a rough start for you. Yeah, just really take a step back, be humble, take a look at it, and be objective. Right? So what is it? What Carmine had figured out was that he's a kind of supply and demand trader. This is an example right in front. Well, I've seen him do this. In fact, let's just put it that way. We're in an uptrend, and he's looking for shorting it up here, because this is where there is some supply, right? And he'd get short up here as soon as it broke into this area. Maybe he'd look for just a turnaround in here, and he'd short it, and he'd get stopped out. And that was happening several times. So he reflected off of it and came back and said, I am not going to short up here. I'm going with the trend. I'll be buying down in these areas in here, these swings, and these areas of liquidity down here. Okay. Now I know that he mentioned his solution, right? And I thought it was really good. So and then everything started to work. Everything turned around for him, and he started to build that confidence. But this thing that can really mess with your mind, and that's what we don't want to do. Okay, so that's more. It's more important to take, lots of little small losses, but not mess up your confidence and your mindset, in my opinion. Yeah. Yeah. So, and Stephen, like we went through your content yesterday, and I would say the same thing, to you, like, or you had a hard time getting on the mic there. And I was mentioning, well, what kind of filter are you using? Kind of like a impetus here that like gets you interested in going a specific direction. Is it more than just technical? Right? Is there some sort of like other thing going on there, or is it technical only? Know that distinction. What was really great was we went through, God, I just really like the Academy meetings. I learned so much from everybody. And John, for example, and others from the previous week, I recall it was fantastic. Are looking at higher time frame options levels. Pete, Trader Pete is in here. Rob is in here. They're looking at higher time frame options levels, and now they're looking at order flow around those levels because they know that those are important levels. They've tested it. They've back tested it. They know that they have an edge there. Okay, so that's their higher time frame outlook. Now we can do the same thing on many time frames in here, and it depends. Do we want to go back and take a look at here, let me get out of trading for this one. This higher time frame in Bookmap here. This was just a test trade, guys. So nothing happened in there. And I wanted to see if it worked for the journal in the simulated mode, and it does. So this is a great thing. So anyone who has Bookmap Global, you can use these tools. You can use that trading journal. I believe you have access to that trading journal. I'm not sure about that actually, but you can trade from the chart. You can study your trades. You can certainly use replay mode. You can also use the trading journal for replay mode. All right, so anyway, let's take a look at this. Here's our higher time frame in Bookmap. Here's a big, strong move. We mentioned there was a strong move brewing. Here's our CPI here, and then I think did we talk about this? Like it was like we saw the volume really picking up down here. It's like, wow, okay, we were making lower highs in here, and was not anticipating this. This is kind of shocking. Why are more buyers up in these areas now, and now we're breaking out. Okay, so we are in an uptrend for this. Wait, let's see here. This is to the 13th, and this is the 12th over here. Okay, yeah, I mean we are clearly in an uptrend, but is it waning? Are we? Look at the volume up in here compared to the volume in here. Okay, so this is why we can start to look at maybe even CVD. I don't think it will work. No, it won't work. But we can look at higher time frame in here and start to put pieces together as well. This higher time frame version of Bookmap, the indicators only work for current market, current day. Anyway, we can take a look at this. We don't need to look at CVD. We can look at the volume bars down here and start to put those pieces together. So yeah, okay, here comes a buy volume, right? We come up to this swing. We have not broken above it. We just saw this move. Now we're getting a lot of sellers. Okay, so now we can take a look at this on the higher time frame here. And what's our filter here, right? Well, it looks pretty good to break this trend line and trade back down to here. Okay, so let's jump into our smaller time frame. Here's a bit of a pullback. Okay, and we have a high volume node here. We can take a look at potential, trend line here. And if I see some selling starting to come in, let's turn this on. Then we can go with that higher time frame and try to trade back down into lower levels here. Okay, I'm not seeing the sellers, but let's see if we do get them. In fact, we can even put a well, let's just, sorry guys, kind of jumped in there a little too quickly. So that's not what I'm looking for actually, so I'm just going to end that. We may come back down and revisit that though, and take a look here. So that was kind of a slip up on my side with the trade execution. I tried to put a sell stop in here, but anyway, you use a sell stop. You hold the shift key down, and then you right click, and then you can move this around wherever you like. Okay. Okay, and you can use your center mouse wheel just to click on it there as a button, center mouse wheel, and you will cancel that order. Okay. All right, so anyway, that's just taking a look at some higher time frame and then aligning the lower time frame into the analysis in the picture here. Okay, this is again, we're not looking for this right now. This is not telling us that the sellers are coming in, and we're looking for breaking that higher time frame trend line here. They were bouncing off of it, in fact. All right, let me see. No worries about the mic issues. It was just that it felt bad for you. You missed it, Stephen. Let's see. Trading is life. Can you talk more about what to look for to stay in the trade? Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, I would use these filters, trading is life, like we're talking about in here, this higher time frame stuff. So here we go again. This is kind of like, this is our under over right here, right? If we can get through that on some selling, I'm going to hold my shift key down and right click here. Now we don't see it yet, right? So still, this is I'm just kind of putting a placeholder in here, and see if we can get it here. I need to see selling below this area here at 38. And we're not getting it. We're absolutely not getting it. You can see, like in this little range in here, we break the range, the buyers come in, we get a pullback, and we see very little selling in here and more buyers. So this is actually looking pretty good to come back up maybe to about 43 here, 43.5. Okay, we traded in the high liquidity in here. Okay, the transaction took place. Okay, I'm gonna click on this and cancel it for now. Trading is life. Staying in the trade, like you were doing a pretty good job, with some of your content there. The question I had to you would be like, what time frame are you trading off of? And you may consider as well, like some of the the what was I going to say? Just reading some of the comments here in YouTube. Yeah, you may consider like you have really big volume dots on there. This is, maybe, shrink them down just a little bit. Not, your strength is that you're looking at bigger picture stuff. But this is what we really want to ascertain is right here, right? So volume traded, this is where buyers met the sellers. There's still more buyers above it, but now sellers are starting to come in. If we get enough sellers in here, then I'm looking for the sellers to take it down. Okay, so they're starting to. So let's just take a shot at it here, and now see what I'm looking for is a squeeze here, and then maybe we can get back down into some of these. Well, 35 or the swing here would probably be the first step, but now let's take a look at this in here. Okay, and we'll look at the bigger picture, and we'll try to hold this for a longer period. It's kind of hard during these webinars, as we're trading on different time frames, etc. But zooming in and starting to understand this can help pinpoint your trade management. Okay, now let's zoom out and let's take a look at where this might go then on the higher time frame. Okay, so the swing down here is probably pretty good for taking some off, but we have our higher time frame swing down here, and we have a trend line down here as well. Okay, so maybe this is where you would look for it then. Okay, down here around 33. Now I know that's only like 5 points or so from where we are, but zoom out some more. Okay, if this is like it depends on the time frame you're trading, right? When did you get in? What was the rationale for it? And you want to hold it for longer? Well, then you can just trail your stop. You can put your take profit down here at the swing down here, right at 20. Okay, or where was the cash open here? Here we had some data, 830, maybe down here, 26. I mean, you can see there's many different levels here you can take a look at. I hope this is making sense. Spot on, Stephen. Practices in replay mode. This is just key. So guys, record your data in Bookmap, and then when the day is over, go back and replay the data. You can speed it up. You can reverse or replay it again and again and again. Okay. Trading is life. It's the question, and it kind of got me tripped up in a few of the webinars, is what time frame are you trading? How are you going to manage it off of that time frame? And it's key. It's critical. So if you're looking for that double top play, well, maybe you got your stop way up here. Maybe it's even above 50, right? The figure up here. If you're looking for holding this not for just the day, maybe even over the weekend, and trying to get it down to see if this is all going to be tested down here to where this broke out from around 86, or even the swing down here around 60.20. That's 116 points away. This is the swing from the CPI, right? So lots of different things to kind of consider in here, and another thing to look at here is measured moves. Again, it depends on the time frame. So let's just take a look at we see some of the measured moves in here in the swings, and I'm just going to duplicate that, and we'll put this below. Okay, now does this start to relate to something? Not bad, down into this area in here. So when we have 6100, the figure down here, maybe that's where we're going, right? So this is where that back testing comes in. And what we do in these webinars is we back test that, or forward test it basically, by looking at some of these measured moves in here. Here's a break, and did we do a measured move? This is where to take some off. Consider taking some off. And does it match with a swing? It does. There you go. Now, what we really want to do as well is look at some of the order flow, like right here. High liquidity right in here. And do we trade it? Does it trade through it? Does it hit this liquidity? And now you can see we start to find some buyers. Right? And that's our edge in order flow. Okay, so we're down to this swing here, and you can see, right? You know, we're kind of struggling here, down here at the swing. Okay, so yeah, maybe buyers come in and try to attack again up here to 40. POC here at 39. Okay, we got in here at 39 and quarter. Yeah. Yeah, so here they come. So buyers are going to give it a shot here, and let's see. Okay, we have high liquidity up here. Okay, what's the reaction up here? And this is where, like, you know, I kind of got tripped up, is exactly this. On this time frame here, I would have liked to have taken some down, some off at the swing here. Okay, now I know it's only one, so I can't. And then we get tripped up in it when, like, well, we're going to trade on a higher time frame, and then this thing starts to go against us, then that's where everything can get screwy. So I keep on underscoring, like, what time frame are you trading? All right, let me see any questions over in YouTube. What do you have to see to take a trade? I just went through some parameters. Yusuf. There are many different ways to trade. Okay, we went through an example also using CVD, and also some trend lines, and then what we're looking for in the order flow to justify that trade. I suggest that you may want to come over to that Bookmap Academy. We go through exactly this again and again. In fact, we have a setups. We really encourage people to put together setups checklist for looking for something in here, and there's a tool we have as well that you can use, and you can grade the setup in here. This is what you're looking for this setup, and if you can grade it, and then it makes sense for order entry, you're looking for an average score here of 8 or better. No, we've never considered making a volume profile for icebergs. It's kind of an interesting idea, Nick, and stop losses. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's kind of an interesting idea, but it might be a little too much. We're looking for stops and icebergs help move the market, but they don't totally move the market. We've always said the stops and icebergs are specific order types within the order flow. So it's a subsector of order flow. So order flow is most important first, and then we can look at stops and icebergs to give us additional insight to the participants trading with those order types. So for example, larger players are using the iceberg orders because they want to hide their liquidity from the order book, right? And that's the way that they do it. Smaller players are using stop losses because they don't have the account size to handle big drawdowns. So instead, get stopped out, look for another high probability trade. All right, let's see. Traded into high liquidity down here, 35. Getting a little bit of a bounce out of that. That's pretty typical. But do we get a lot of buyers out of it? That's what we're kind of looking for. And I've got a lot of different analysis going on here. Let's get rid of some of these. Another thing to consider, we've talked about many times in here, is time of day. So trading is life. This is another critical one that we want to be, usually right around this time we get a reversal, and then it doesn't have to carry through. It may trend to the upside. That may continue, but for the time that we are trading during the webinar, we do get a reversal. And that's why many times you see us, like in the webinar, counter trend trading, when then the trend resumes later in the afternoon. This is great to hear, Shark. Yeah, that you find the replay or live market. There's so much value to be had by studying those trades that go south in flawed execution. Yep. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, continue on. Repeat, rinse and repeat. Here, like, it was a great question, trading is life. So I really appreciate it. Here we went through a higher time frame analysis, right? This is what we're looking for. In fact, this is where we should maybe even consider taking some profit right now. It's done the move, right? So let's actually do that then. Okay, so we just traded into high liquidity here. We'll flatten the position. Okay, so that's it. We'll look for the next one. But in fact, the next one's potentially right in front of us as well. Here's a pullback. Let's see if it's low volume. And then trade it right back down and take another very small scalp or profit. But anyway, yeah, that's another thing about trading on the different time frames. What time frame are you trading? What are you looking for? This was our plan. Okay, so we should be out. We are. Now we're out. Okay. In fact, we kind of benefited a few ticks that it went below our area here. Anyway, that's what we wanted. That's what we're looking for. That's what we got. And we look for the next trade. So that maybe helps answer the question as well about, you're holding for longer time frames. Why? What are you looking for it to work out? Okay, are you looking for it to work out on the daily, but you're trading off of like a small structural area? Then you just look for that small structural area to work out. And maybe something like a measured move into high liquidity. or maybe whatever it is, it tags the VWAP or whatever it is. I know you're a VWAP trader. Yeah, Shark, I really love hearing what you're saying there. All right, let's jump back to our Trader Map Pro. And any questions over in YouTube? Nope. Okay. Well, over on YouTube, any of you guys that have some of these questions, you may want to. There's no cost to it at all to come over to our Discord and follow along in the Bookmap Academy. Come to the Bookmap Academy meetings, and if you make content and put it in your spreadsheet, we can go over your content and open the mic for you as well to get your take on the trade, and then we'll give you feedback directly. All right, let's see. Santo Cum. Want to look at a stock? All right. I mean, you want to take a look at DRFT, or you can look at Roku as well. But let's take a look here at DRFT. I'm kind of curious to see what it is. I do not show it. Oh, hold on a minute. I all connected here. Fine. And how about let's put in Roku. Okay, there we go. That. Okay, no MBO data for Roku, so that's limitation with stocks. And let's jump over and take a look at Roku. Okay, so newbie trader over here. Very, very simple analysis in here. Here's our cash open. You can see the distinction with a stock that the larger players come in with high liquidity at the 9:30 cash open, and they're here to play. And they usually stay in the market. This guy actually pulled some of his liquidity here as price was coming down, kind of got cold feet here. But you can see other traders at this price level did stay in the market, and they did trade here. Okay, look at pre-market here, high liquidity up in this area here at 105. And they not only stayed, but others added in more up here. So we come up here, we test that area, and then we fall back. Okay, this is how you can start to read not just support and resistance, but supply and demand. This is supply up here. Okay, and more supply at lower levels, as you can see. So this is bearish because we can see that there's more traders with limit sell orders at lower levels. They don't even trade to it here, as you can see. Right? So where is Roku going to go? Well, we're at the bottom of this range right now, and looking for more sellers in here to try to hit back down into maybe 97 is right below us here, but I'd look for maybe 96. Now that's I do not think this is a time for an opportunity to trade it. I'm not seeing sellers come in right now. I'm seeing some buyers, so maybe they can lift back up to these areas. So we'd look for maybe a move back up into the structure here. And then there's all sorts of different ways to look at it in terms of structure. I'm trying to, I know you're talking about liquidity tracker and CVD, etc. Keep it simple, right? And understand market structure, which you can see we're, downtrending, and we see the lower highs and lower lows. That's why I put in trend lines, but you don't have to. And we have multiple different trend lines in here. But, somewhere around in here. And maybe we see, traders react to this trend line. Actually, let's get rid of this one. It's a little confusing. And we'll go with this structure here. All right, and we can also look at this structure in here, this sideways structure. So what I'm saying is, what if we get buyers right here? Okay, a lot of buyers. I would look for them to break the structure and test back up to the trend line. Okay, now I would like to see that align with high liquidity, and we do have some at 99. Okay, here's your point of control as well at 98, 97. So somewhere around there. So that's a kind of a trade back to the mean here. Now, are we getting that? No, we're not getting that scenario right now. In fact, now we're starting to see more sellers down here. Okay, so we're going to look in this tight little range in here, and we'll look for an opportunity. And we just went through a couple different scenarios. So we're just trading the range and looking for someone to move it away from this little range in here. I hope that makes sense. You can't trade this little range in here. The spread is too big, as you can see. You got to wait for a move, bigger move. I don't have a higher time frame chart to take a look at. I just have the day. Okay, but the lows are down here, and it looks like, yeah, there we go. There's the break. Okay, so in fact, let's take a look at this here. Maybe we'll take a look at, is this the big break we're looking for? And then maybe we can look for a pullback here. Again, this is not a trade recommendation. In fact, I'm not able to trade from this chart. Sim, what's that? Should be able to. Okay, yeah, I think so. Let's see. Okay, so here's our pullback, and now we get trades up there. Okay, so looking for pullback, sellers again dropping down into, we already hit 97. It was right below us here. We're looking for a bigger move though, down to maybe 96. Okay, so now we've been taken into the trade. Were we taken in by sellers? Not really. Not really. Okay, so the sellers, if the sellers don't pick it up in here, we're going to exit the trade, right? Because this is not what we're looking for. Okay, we're looking for sellers to take this away from the range here and take it lower. It's one share. Yeah, I forgot about that. Anyway, DraftKings. Okay. Okay, I'm showing this DKNG. Take a look at that. Hey, we're still in the range here, but still looking for, it's just kind of back and forth in here. We might get caught up in a false breakdown here. Okay, but I'm still going with it, and just we see buyers back up here around this 97.74, then we'll get out, and we're starting to see them. is there buying up at this level? Is there buying interest? There's liquidity here at 98. Okay, starting to show some buying interest. Okay, now can they trade into and through 98? Not much there, 2,800 shares. Okay, a lot more up here at 98.50. Twice as many. Let's take a quick look at DraftKings. Okay, trending up. High liquidity hit all the way up, right? And then our sellers up here. High liquidity, though, at a higher level on the bid here. So these are buyers, and they are supporting this area here. See how we broke out from this little range here? This is what we're looking for in Roku as a breakdown. But it broke out here. Okay, so they're back here. Buyers are back here, and they want to buy more, right? And that's what we're reading here in DraftKings now. And it looks like they traded. So what we're looking for in DraftKings then is, can we get more buyers back up here at this 52.40 to take it back up to the swing? Yeah, I mean, what we want to ascertain, Santo, is the buying and selling pressure in the auction process. Okay, so we can look at two types of supply and two types of demand. One type is very easy. It's more traditional. Is understanding the resting orders. This is supply. These are limit sell orders up here at 53.50 and also at 54. There's the most up here at 54. About 14,800 up here. 14,800, 13,500 basically at 50, 53.50. So this is where the sellers are. Are there buyers interested in trading with these sellers? That's what we're looking at. Okay, let's jump back to our S&P. We'll come back to Roku and the others. All right. So not bad decision then of our target, being here at our higher time frame trend line here. So we kind of dipped below it, and then we took our profit when it started to go back up a little bit. And now that's what we're looking for. That's what it did, and that's where we can start to look even for the break of the trend line and the move back up. Okay, so we found buyers off of this level in here. Okay, and we can see high liquidity here and here. Okay, so where are the buyers going now, right? Maybe up here, maybe up to 61.40, right? Is that the case? All right, so then if so, let's take a look at TraderMap Pro. We can see this liquidity a little bit better. Okay, so probably up here. In fact, let's just do it. Let's look for a move up to here. In fact, maybe we can put on 2 and then just look for getting out at some of these areas here. Okay, so we're looking for the test into the high liquidity. Okay, if this doesn't follow through on the buy side, then we are out. Okay, I don't like it being at the swing here and then taking a position like that, actually above the swing. But just to demo, like where are we going with this? right? Well, we've come up to this swing so far. Okay, higher liquidity underneath here, 40. See, now this is what we want to read here. See how they're bidding up underneath here? Do we find sellers? Yeah, actually we are finding some sellers here. So they traded, they took on these guys here at this level here at 40, and they're still selling. Okay, so this is not looking good for our position. Let's see if we get a bounce out of this area here and then our move back up. Far so good. And not so good. Back down and retesting here at the swing. Yeah, let's just dump this. Maybe we'll get a little bit of a bounce off of this area here. Okay, yeah, we're coming down to this liquidity here. And let's see if we can get a bounce there. This is bad trade management. Looking for the bounce here. And let's see if we can reattack it up here. Okay, as we're waiting for that, let's jump back to our Roku here. And it's just chopping around. So it was a false breakdown. We thought we had our low volume pullback and looking for a continuation, but it's still within this range in here. It's just chopping around in this range. So it's still in play as long as it doesn't get back up above the range here. Okay, so here come our buyers back. And high liquidity here at 41.50 at a lower level, right? So do the buyers want it? Let's take a look here. Okay, if not, then we'll exit this. Okay. So they're trading into it. There we go. All right, let's see if they can trade higher. Okay, into 42. Okay. So now we just traded into that high liquidity. Okay. Actually, I'm going to flatten it here. Because after trading into high liquidity, I'm looking for a pullback. All right, let's jump back to our Roku here and take another look. And also our DraftKings in here. Okay, so our DraftKings, they came up. See the buyers here. See how they charged up to it here into the liquidity here at 53. Have a position on it to demo the trade management. Okay, does that starting to make sense, Santo? like how to start to look at this in here and start to understand the relationship between liquidity, price structure, and volume transactions. Yeah, you're welcome. Now I really want, tell me, because I know this is where we start losing people. And if they don't understand those elements, there's a good reference I can point you to. Go to bookmap.com. Okay, go to education here. And then in the Learning Center, go into the Market Mechanics course here and watch part 1. What we go over in here is things like this, how does price move? How does the order book affect price movement at a most binary level in here with the, just one transaction and how it can move price? Go through this part 1 of the course. I think you'll find it really helpful. And then, if you suppose you're trading candlesticks, we can look at candlesticks in here. And look at some of these patterns in here as well, like flag patterns, continuation patterns. Big move up, sideways chop, followed by another big move, impulse move up to the upside. Okay, now it's kind of choppy, right? We're still in an uptrend, but it's kind of choppy because we pulled back all the way here. Now we're finding buyers to trade it back again. Again, this is supply over here. This is demand by the aggressors with the green dots, market buy orders. And they transacted. Pull back into demand, passive demand on the bid. These are limit buy orders. They transact, and we see how the buyers pulled away from. This is what we're looking for in Roku on the opposite side. We're looking for the breakdown to pull away from it. This is where we trade into high liquidity here, and then buyers are back up above that area. Okay, and then consolidation, and then breakout. All right. Okay, how's our Roku doing now? Still hanging in there. It's actually looking better now. See the selling picking up at the bottom edge here. This is why at some of these bottom edges or top edges, you can look at profile, or you can look at your CVD, or you can just look at the volume dots and higher highs and higher lows in here and liquidity. So here's some very little buying, not much, pretty good buying here, but still unable to even make a higher high. Here's some buying again, and it's less. Now we're seeing sellers down at these clusters here. So now, do we get sellers here to break this and trade lower? Okay, so if we see a big sell dot down here, then that likelihood is much higher. Okay, it's what, a 29-point spread, 30 cent spread in here, so it's almost the entire range. Very, very difficult to make money on a scalping such a small range. All right, let's jump back to R. All right, so here we go. So we did get our pullback, and now we're getting our buyers coming back in again on the ES. Okay, so the new strength level indicator, absolutely, we can go through that. Yeah, they did. Just the developers just released that, and it's been updated. So in fact, let me show you where you can find out more information about that to begin with. Okay, bookmap.com, and you can either go through the Learning Center and Education here, or you can click on the More button and go to the knowledge base here, and then we're going to look at add-ons. Okay, and we're going to look for, scroll down here and look for the strength level indicator here. And we'll see, you know, what it is, configuration, modes, other settings, and you know, some limitations in here. The underflow and resistance, these modes in here are going to be explained in the knowledge base here. Okay, so if we go back here now, let's just turn it on in here. Okay, we have new icons in here for it. And this was actually our, it's kind of funny. Okay, I'm gonna have to filter this. So it has a new icon. It's a rook, and let's go back here and look at the settings. So I want to filter this because we've got way too many transactions here. So you can set notifications in here. I'd be careful with that. Looks like I did not get this filter here to work. But we got, oh, okay, the aggregation in here. Some aggregation, vertical and horizontal, right? So you don't have to look at all those different transactions that we were looking at earlier. Right, so let's go back here. So this is nice. This is really nice the way they put in these sliders in here for aggregation. You know, let's define them. Like I said, this was our old iceberg detector, but there were some anomalies in here that were hard to overcome. Once we had market by order data, we knew exactly that they were icebergs, native icebergs at least, to the CME, and not the heuristic ones or synthetic icebergs. Anyway, these new settings in here to be able to filter for the or the aggregation in here, which is really nice. We can look at them more kind of consolidated or aggregated here. Underflow and resistance. Okay, what does that mean? You can see there's some filters in here as well. So underflow reads the transaction of the let's try to zoom in. We'll read the transaction that took place and then what was in the order book at that time. Okay, if there were more transaction than what were in the order book, then we know that something's off there, right? It must be an iceberg. The problem that we ran into with the strength indicator, it still works, but there can be anomalies depending on your data. If it is just 1 nanosecond off, that comes before or after what really transacted, it is going to give you a false positive. Okay, and that was the issue. What the MBO data and the MBO package stops and icebergs, there's no error there. It is that we bypass that limitation. Okay, but that's what the underflow does in here, and then the resistance. God, it's been a while since. Let's see here. What does it mean here? It says detects how fast. Oh, right. Okay, how fast limit orders are added to the order book after a transaction. That's right. So this was kind of a funny thing with the icebergs, and if we use the other setting in here, resistance, it is more accurate. You will get less false positives, we believe, but there's a lot of things that are also missed. So play around with it. I kind of like the underflow one, but the resistance one means that if all of a sudden there is a limit order that comes into the order book after a transaction here very quickly, and it kind of beats some of the other limit orders in here, we think that that is an iceberg reloading, because they are native iceberg orders to the CME. They are co-located, and they will refresh or come into the order book immediately, and that's just fact as well. Now we don't know though that if it's related to that transaction iceberg or not, right? Just kind of assume that. And before market by order data, that was what we had to deal with. Okay, so I don't know if that helps answer the question. Yeah. Okay. All right, guys. Well, let's take a look at this again in here. We've only got a few more minutes until I'm going to take the strength indicator off. And yeah, let's see if we can get another kind of breakdown here. This is a strong move, pull back, looking for a break. And then we can look at it also a potential measured move here. Shoot, hold on. Just move this guy down to here. This guy will, okay. All right. So this is what we're looking for then. This is our measure move. Here's our liquidity at 38. We're just looking for the move there. Okay, this was our strong impulse move, our pullback. Got in a little late on that, but now we're looking for sellers to take it down, maybe to this swing here. Okay, quick little scalp, just to go through the concept in here, what we're looking for. Okay, and so we got it. Now this concept though, trading is life and others, this concept right here can be played out on multiple time frames. We played it out on this time frame in here, kind of strong impulse move, pull back, sell, and then taking our profit, kind of looking for a measured move. Did one little kind of bobble in here off of that trend line, and then made it down here. Okay, how's our Roku doing? Let's take a look. This thing, it just won't break. Actually, we're finding buyers come back in. I'm going to exit it, and that's it. Oh, I'm sorry, it did break. It did break. Okay, I needed to zoom out a little bit. It did break. We're looking for it to break further into 96, and we didn't quite get that. Okay, so all of this chop in here, and then finally, let's just take a look at this. And I hope this helps answer your question, Santo. It was kind of a hard read. This was, I thought, an easy read in here on the pullback, but it just chopped around in here for a while, and we did not get into the liquidity up here at 98. And then we started to see those sellers come in, buyers here, but at a lower high, and then sellers, and then the drop, right? So we did get the drop, and then I thought maybe I came back in and I thought this was the drop here on, but it's not. This was actually the this was the drop we traded in. Okay. Okay, so nothing much shaking there. Yeah. Yeah, AMZN, we can take a quick look. I haven't looked at it in quite a while. While we're waiting for that to load, let's go back to S&P. Okay, this turned into a nicer move, but we had our reasons. We were looking for just this move to here, right? And it went further. Okay, Amazon also, let's add a little more historical data in here. High liquidity, pullback. High liquidity, much bigger pullback now. Maybe potential reversal here as well. Okay, if we get sellers on the bottom edge in here, I would look for them to trade down to 28 or 27 here. Okay, so here they go. Try that. Yeah, looks pretty good. Let's see if they can break that. And we could look for a quick move to, it's a little late to get in, but we have high liquidity in here. But maybe we'll see. There we go into 28, but I expect a bounce out of 28. You know, we've got what, 28,000 shares there. Yeah, we wanted to be in about here. Sado, you may consider the NQ if the ES is moving too slow for you. You may also consider the Russell RTY. You can look at crude oil. You can look at gold. Yeah, I got kind of into this a little too late here. If I see the buyers up here, I'm out. Right, so it can't have buyers up here, and we'll be caught in the squeeze. They're bidding up at this higher level. I just was looking for, I wanted to trade from here to here, and that was it. All right, let's see if this is just a test up to here, and then let's see if the sellers do come in again. It's not looking good. Yeah. All right. Flatten it. Okay. Okay. Let's see. All right, I got a little bit of time. We can maybe look at Nvidia really quickly, but I want to also cover something in here from Trading is Life. Trading is Life. Here's your, potential bigger pattern in here. Let's actually look at this. We talked about it at the beginning of the webinar of a potential double top up here, right? Okay, it's looking pretty good. It's breaking the structure. It's breaking it on high volume. Okay, so is this a continuation, or is this going to be a false breakdown and a move back to your point of control in here? To me, it looks like it wants to continue. All right, so now I'm looking for opportunities in the order flow in here, and I jump back to the Trader Map Pro version in here, and here we have some high liquidity up in here. So we're going to get a pull back into there. Now, jumping into the higher time frame, looking at this in here, again, we can look at measured moves, and we did that actually earlier. We have a double top, and we got two double tops in here. Right, this one, let's see what that looks like. Okay, they both kind of match up regardless. So this would be maybe what you're looking for at the 7 o'clock East Coast time, right on here where the buyers came in. Right? So it's selling off, and we've gotten a pullback here, and we're looking for sellers again here. Okay? And if we get it, we'd look for that continuation. So there's your higher time frame. All right, let's take a look at Nvidia really quickly. Nvidia, high liquidity traded, high liquidity traded, high liquidity, all of it traded, and you see the bounce. Okay, now this was high liquidity. These were limit buy orders resting here at 136.50. Now they were on the bid here. They are on the bid again here. Okay, they want to be buyers again. And that's bullish, at least for this little time frame in here. But we need to see. I mean, we're downtrending. But see that behavior in here. Okay, that's bullish for this small time frame. So maybe we can just get a test back up to 37, right? Yeah, European close in 5 minutes or less now. Yeah, so let's see if they can just get up to here. Kind of struggling here. It was just trying, but back in the range. Okay, our ES now traded back here to that high liquidity. Okay, so now are we coming all the way back here to POC, or most traded level here where this broke down from? This is where, like, it's kind of a tough call. I would say, based on what I'm seeing right now, no. This is a strong impulse move away from, through and away from POC. Okay, so I would be leaning toward more sellers to come in right around in here and drop it again. And we have liquidity that supports that idea. Okay, so here we go. Now, still finding buying appetite, though, and they just traded with these sellers here. Can they trade through it? Yeah, a little bit. Okay, so then I'm staying away. I'm staying away from getting involved here, and maybe I'll get involved up here. That. Okay, but in terms of these strong moves, this is a lot of strong selling that moved the market away. Okay, and then how does this refer to, or what's the reference? Sorry, to the strong buying here? Well, it's a lot less strong. Sellers are in control from up here at this point here. We saw that earlier at 42, and then we were looking for just that move into the 37, 38 area here. Right, so let's see now. Almost back to POC. All right, guys. Well, let's see. Any other questions? Let me see here. Oh, that was Shark. I think I answered that. That was the new strength indicator. I went through it in detail. Um, yeah, it was our old iceberg detector, but with the MBO data, and you've got the MBO, it's much better, in my opinion. All right, Caveman, good stuff. Thank you. Yeah, well, us we don't look at we'd look at the gold futures instead of looking at the uh, contract for differences, CFDs. So yeah, it will show the order book much better, and we'll be able to understand the order flow at a much higher level. Now, if you trade and the spreads are going to be better too. But if you trade that and you want to trade that CFD and you're really into it, you want to use Bookmap. Well, then I would recommend that you get Bookmap. You get a connection to the CME for COMEX. If you only trade gold, then you'll only need that. And get connected and look at the liquidity, and then you can trade gold for wherever, whatever CFD or you know uh, maybe an ETF in stocks or whatever it might. Right. All right, guys, let's call it a day. Let's call it a week. Thank you, everybody, for coming. A great session in the Bookmap Academy. Please give me a thumbs up or a like in YouTube. That helps us. And come to our Discord. Partake in the. We've got the Bookmap Academy over there. Lots of feedback from coaches and especially from other Academy members. It's a really great environment and heartwarming to see. Trading his life. He's a new member. He's been diving into it, and he's getting help from Shark Baloo here. He's getting help from Steven and I think a few others in here, right? Great stuff. So, fantastic community. You can learn a lot. You can get a lot better and ask questions and improve your trading. You can get on the bandwagon with the Bookmap Academy, and if you want to really go further with it, yeah, you can get Bookmap for free through the program. You can become a coach and also get data for free, and you can also become a streamer later if you continue on in the program. Right, so we open it up and want people to partake in the program. Yeah, thank you, Trader Pete, Lee, Tree Lee, Alois, Shark, Rob. Yeah, have a great weekend, you guys, and we'll catch up with you. Monday's off, so we'll catch up with you on Tuesday. Right, so we have markets are closed on Monday, so we'll see you on Tuesday then. All right, yeah, take care, guys. Bye bye.